With all that, let's take a brief look at the first reading from Sirach as we kind of put a bow on Sirach, and we're going to move into Tobit next week. You have to understand with Sirach and with all the Old Testament, especially the wisdom literatures, they deal with this problem of death. Okay, so I think a problem that we still all struggle with today. What is the purpose of death? But also, more importantly, what's the point of doing anything in our lives if all of our lives are going to end the same way? What's the purpose of working or not working if both the worker and the non-worker are going to die? What's the reason why be virtuous if we're all going to die, right? What's the difference between a person who lives a life of vice and a life of virtue if their end result's going to be the same? Okay, that's what these wisdom writers, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, especially the book of Job, book of Sirach, they're all wrestling around with this issue. What's the point of living if we're all going to die anyways? Okay, so that's where we're at here with Sirach 44, where he wants to make a case, okay, and he's going to this whole chapter 44, he's going to praise the heroes of the Old Testament, Abraham, Moses, David. He's going to give a little song of praise for each of them, okay? And the idea is that being good is that you are remembered, okay? And your legacy lives on. Okay. So we kind of carry that today still in the church. If you go to any Catholic church, it's flooded with statues. The virtuous are remembered. They're also remembered by God. Now, again, Sirach isn't going to get to that yet. He doesn't know it yet. This concept of the afterlife of heaven and that type of thing. Really, Jesus is going to bring all that out in the Gospels. And what we know today, a lot of it is because of Jesus and the New Testament writers after him in the oral tradition of St. Peter and St. Paul. Kind of really give us the maybe more of the unveiling of the mystery of this notion of a life after death, okay, that Jesus is the life. But Sirach isn't there yet, but he's getting close, okay. Yet these were also godly men whose virtues have not been forgotten. Their wealth remains in their families, their heritage with their descendants. Through God's covenant with them, their family endures, their posterity for their sake. For all time, their progeny will endure, and their glory will never be blotted out. So while they're still wrestling with this issue, I think something within the human heart, back in ancient times and even today, we have it within this heart, this notion that, justice will ultimately be carried out. Life is unfair right now. A lot of bad things happen to good people, and a lot of good things happen to really terrible people, at least in terms of wealth and fame and that type of thing, as well as good health. But we have this kind of belief internally within us, given by God, that things will be just once again. And that this longing for the afterlife, this longing for eternal life, will be quenched by God through the works and efforts of Jesus Christ. So Sirach and the other Old Testament writers, while they still don't know and they still struggle with the issue, they get us on the starting point that will lead us to the fulfillment and the teachings of Jesus Christ. May God bless you.